Stand up, stand out, stand strong. A 30-day guide to navigate life when the shift hits the fan. Chapter 24, Day 24. All relationships will either evolve or dissolve. We have come to a time when all relationships need to be reevaluated. We need to take an inventory of which relationships are helpful and which ones are hurtful, which relationships lift us up and which ones tear us down. Some relationships are meant to be released so they can naturally dissolve, and others are being called to evolve. These relationships may be with parents, children, siblings, friends, partners, business colleagues, and professional clients. Practicing discernment and non-attachment is essential in creating awareness as well as in reducing the suffering that can go along with this process. You may have heard the saying, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It is true. Some people are meant to play a bigger role in our lives, while others teach us what they need to learn, and off they go. The challenge comes in our judgments about who is meant to come and who is meant to stay. Many people are so loyal to family that they are not willing to consider they are meant to let go of a relationship with a family member or a spouse or a partner. Instead of letting go, they hang on for dear life and create way more suffering. I've seen it over and over again with clients who hang on to relationships and marriages that are meant to end. Eventually, they do end. Many times, some people need to stay in longer just to make sure or to feel like they've tried everything before they give up. Remember on day 5 when I shared my reluctance to end a relationship with my boyfriend in what we can't see, we can't change? It is very common to hang on longer than we are meant to. Letting go of a relationship that is meant to end is not giving up. It is accepting the inevitable. Now, let me be crystal clear. It is not wrong or bad to stay in the relationship longer because you want to be sure or to feel good about knowing you did everything you could to see if it could evolve. All I am encouraging everyone to do is start to identify which relationships are meant to dissolve and to let them go sooner than later. Having said that, some of us will still need to learn our lessons the hard way, and that is okay. Those hard lessons are powerful teachers. I have learned many of my most powerful life lessons that way. I have come to a place in my life where I no longer wish to inflict more suffering. I also have a deeper trust in my ability to discern. I have been practicing non-attachment for years now. Letting go has become easier for me. Relationships are more challenging, but with continued practice and awareness, confidence. When it is time to let go of someone, our attachment may stop us from seeing how the relationship is not serving us anymore. We can attach ourselves to individuals themselves or to the dream of what we thought the relationship would be like. We can be attached to objects, places, and experiences we associate with the person. We can be attached to hopes that it will change, and we can be attached to dreams and visions of the future. Attachment can prevent us from letting go and cause us to hang on so tightly that we end up being dragged along, creating way more suffering and pain in the process. Not all relationships are meant to last a lifetime. When we accept that some people will come into our life for a reason or a season, we can allow the organic progression of each relationship to play out. When it has taught us what we need to learn, we can allow the relationship to dissolve. We can consciously peace. It may take a long time to process some relationships. With every letting go, there is often a sense of loss. With letting go of some people, we will feel the loss and process it with ease, while with others, it may take us some time to grieve. It is helpful to reflect on what we learned from being in each relationship. Take all the gifts, lessons, and insights you gained and bring them into your heart with gratitude. Feel any feeling of loss and imagine yourself freeing the other person and yourself so you can both move on. Sometimes we can look back in hindsight and find meaning as we see the perfection of how it all played out. Other times, we just need to trust it wasn't meant to be. In both cases, we can let go and let be. I can think back to a relationship I had in school. On graduation day, we all promised to keep in touch. There was an anticipation of what was next for all of us, and at the same time letting go with a sense of loss. After graduation, I never heard from some of those friends again. Some of those lost friendships have been rekindled through Facebook. I did stay in contact with some of my friends from school, and when we get together, are reconnected as though no time has passed. When a relationship comes to a point where it is meant to be maximized, meaning it has taught us everything it possibly can teach us, it will either dissolve or evolve. Letting go of relationships is one thing that can be very challenging, but evolving relationships can be just as challenging, if not more so. When a relationship is being called to evolve, it takes great courage and willingness from both sides to take an honest look at what is working, what is not, and what needs to change in order to allow for its evolution. When I started questioning my own marriage, I was relearning how to build my business without pushing myself so hard that I would crash over and over again. It was a fine dance between inspired action and deep rest and rejuvenation. I was learning how to fill my heart first and give from my overflow. My spiritual practice included yoga, meditation, reading, studying, and vibrant self-care. I was discovering a way to shift from hard work to heart work. I felt the foundation of who I was in the world was shifting at a very deep level. At the same time I was personally evolving, I felt disconnected from my husband. It was like we were going on with our day-to-day family stuff as roommates living under the same roof. It was like I was living in two different worlds, my heart work, which was soul-enriching work, and my relationship, which was feeling stalled and stuck in old patterns and repetitive issues, looping over and over again. I felt as though I had changed and evolved personally, but our relationship hadn't. One night, while my husband and I were going through our motions of our nightly family routine, I decided I had had enough. I gathered up my courage to open the conversation and share how I was feeling. I knew he was feeling the disconnect as well, but he didn't know how much it was dragging me down this time. There was too much of a contrast between how I was being in the world and how I was living at home. We talked for a few hours as I explained that I couldn't keep doing this. I was tired of the old pattern playing out again and again and again. I told him that our relationship either needed to evolve or I needed to leave. We had very different views on life when it came to our beliefs. I had a strong spiritual belief and a clear purpose in life. He wasn't interested in my spiritual practices or beliefs. He respected mine, but he wasn't interested in embracing any of it for himself. It felt like we were at a standstill. Heart-led living was my life, my purpose, my soul's path, my every moment and my every breath. I needed to be able to bring it home. Although he always let his heart and intuition lead him, he wasn't interested in taking the same spiritual path I took. Faced with the idea that my marriage might be over, I started to explore my attachments to everything, including him. I imagined my life without him. I reflected on how I would feel, what my life would look like, where I would live, how that would change life for my children. I explored all of it fully until I exhausted all my attachments, and I felt open to what was meant to be. One day I was speaking with my dear soul sister and intuitive counselor, Lisa Windsor. I shared my fear that my marriage might be over. I talked about how different my husband's and my beliefs were and how I needed a spiritual practice within my marriage to support its evolution. But my husband didn't resonate with my current practice and didn't feel that he should have to change his beliefs to match mine. He was right, and I understood. He was standing up for his beliefs, and I was standing strong in mine. I needed to find a way to bridge the gap between us, or it would be over. Lisa suggested radical honesty. The words jumped into my heart, and I felt a huge surge of energy. Yes, that feels good. When I shared the idea of our spiritual practice within our marriage being the practice of radical honesty, my husband said, "I can do that." I took a deep breath of relief and gratitude for finding some middle ground that could honor both of us. We started a radical, honest practice every night before bed. We also started to be honest throughout the day and share things that trigger us, and also share things that we are grateful for. Our connection grew deeper and stronger than ever before. We were connecting and sharing deeply, and he was sharing more honestly and not holding back. We shared our deepest hidden fears. We shared our needs and desires. It was not easy. It was the most challenging time for both of us as we exposed all the things we had been holding back to clear any and all underlying resentment, hidden thoughts, and deepest desires. My husband and I are solid today and continue to practice radical honesty, especially when we start to let life get in the way of feeling connected. I gave myself permission to start being more authentic and speaking my spiritual language in our home openly and honestly. I gave myself permission to be myself, and I gave him permission to be himself. It was so freeing. After 16 years together, we are more in love than ever before. And I can say without a shadow of doubt that the practice of radical honesty saved my marriage. And I'm deeply grateful for both our courage and our willingness to evolve our relationship in a way that we both felt and still feel honors us. Take some time to reflect on all your relationships and be open, honest, and willing to explore each one. Some will be obvious, while others you will need to take some time and maybe a radical, honest conversation to get clear about. Some relationships will need to dissolve, or perhaps they are already organically dissolving. In that case, your intention is to release any attachments and let them go. Some relationships may have already evolved without you realizing it. Celebrate those and honor the gifts and lessons that they continue to extend. The relationships that need to evolve may be your most challenging work ahead, but I assure you it will all be worth it. An evolved relationship is a powerful, supportive, and loving relationship that can carry you through so much. We often have evolved relationships with people who come into our life for a lifetime. These are relationships that support our life's work and purpose. If you need support and feel inspired to start a radical honesty practice, you can tune into my radio show episode where I explain how to begin. Many couples have listened to the episode and started their own practice to support the evolution of their marriage. You can tune in here, heartled-living.com/radical-saved-my-marriage. I will leave you with one other idea. I have mentioned that all relationships need to evolve or dissolve, and I mean all relationships, including the one you have with yourself. Practicing radical honesty with yourself is powerful and transformational. The world needs you to evolve and answer the call in your heart. We need you to be a full expression of you, unapologetically. That requires you taking a good honest look at what behaviors, beliefs, fears, and patterns are blocking you from shining your brightest light, living your best life, and being your most authentic expression of you. Are you ready to evolve and answer the call of your heart? Say yes. Just say yes, and watch the miracles unfold.